The listing said 28,500. You drove to the dealership. You sat down. The first worksheet the salesperson printed showed 32,400. Nobody technically lied to you, but nobody told you the truth either. The internet price is the most common point of confusion in the car buying process, not because dealers are necessarily being deceptive, but because that number is not designed to represent what you will actually pay. It is designed to get you in the building. What happens after that is a different conversation entirely. Today we are going to break down every item that lives between the website price and the out-the-door total, how each one gets added, and the one question you can ask before you ever walk through the door that eliminates most of the surprise. The internet price on a dealer's website is a real number in the sense that it exists, and the dealer intends to use it as a starting point. What it almost never represents is the total amount you will actually pay. There are several reasons for this, and not all of them are sinister. Taxes and government fees genuinely cannot be included in an advertised price because they vary by buyer location, registration type, and purchase structure. Those are real variables, but the gap between the internet price and the out-the-door total is rarely explained by taxes alone. The rest of the gap is built from optional add-ons, dealer fees, and market adjustments, items the dealer controls and chooses to present only after you are physically present and emotionally invested. The listing is a door. The price inside is different from what is written on it. Here is what typically fills the gap between the website and the worksheet. Market adjustment. In periods of high demand, dealers add a markup above the listed price, sometimes called an ADM or additional dealer markup. This can range from a few $100s to several thousand. In 2020 and 2021, markups of $5,000 to $10,000 were common on popular models. In most markets, they have softened significantly, but they have not disappeared, particularly on high-demand models with short inventory. Dealer-installed accessories. These are products added to the vehicle before it hits the lot: nitrogen in the tires, paint sealant, low-jack tracking, VIN etching, interior protection. They are typically presented as already installed and non-negotiable. One buyer described paying $2,500 for an accessories package they never asked for and could not remove from the deal because they had been physically added to the car. Documentation fee. This is a real fee that covers the dealer's administrative cost of processing the transaction. In some states it is capped by law. In others it is entirely at the dealer's discretion and can exceed $1,000. You will almost always pay some form of doc fee. The question is whether the amount is reasonable and whether it was disclosed up front. Processing or preparation fees, sometimes separate from the doc fee, sometimes combined, almost never clearly explained. These are profit margin items with a service label on them. None of this is technically illegal. All of it is legal in the sense that dealers are permitted to add these items. The issue is that none of it appears in the internet price you saw when you decided to make the drive, and all of it is presented after you are already emotionally committed to the car sitting in front of you. When a dealer says a fee or accessory package is non-negotiable, what they mean is that they do not want to negotiate it. That is not the same thing. Non-negotiable is a position. It is not a policy, and it is not a legal fact. A dealer who says their documentation fee is set in stone may also be the same dealer who removes it when faced with a buyer who is genuinely ready to walk to the dealership 2 miles away with the same inventory. The leverage in any of these conversations is always the same: a competing offer, the clear willingness to leave, or a buyer who demonstrably understands what they are looking at. When a salesperson realizes you know exactly what is in the gap between the internet price and the worksheet, the conversation changes. Because now they are not managing an uninformed buyer. They are talking to someone who can articulate the specific items they object to, which means they have to articulate a reason to keep them in or remove them. There is one question that eliminates most of this. Email the internet department before you visit and ask for the complete out-the-door price in writing. All fees, all taxes, all dealer-installed accessories included. One number that represents what you would actually hand over to drive the car home. The response to that email is information. A dealer who provides a complete itemized out-the-door number up front is a dealer confident in their pricing who does not need the in-person environment to protect it. A dealer who says to come in and discuss it is a dealer who knows that the in-person environment creates conditions they cannot replicate over email. Your time investment, your emotional commitment, your social discomfort with negotiating. Some buyers run this entire negotiation by email and never walk into a building until the deal is already agreed. The Internet department wants to close deals. If you make clear you are a serious buyer with a specific reasonable price target, email-only negotiation is entirely possible and completely legitimate. The Internet price is designed to bring you in the door. The out-the-door price is the only number that matters. Before your next dealership visit, email for that number first. Get it in writing. If they will not send it, that is your answer. If they send it with a full itemized breakdown, you know who you are dealing with before you ever leave the house. Subscribe for more of what this process looks like from the inside. Newsletter is in the description. One deal breakdown every single week. We will see you in the next one.